Welcome back. Today's topic is extremely serious to people who care about information, to people who care about the world we live in, to people who want to watch endless fight compilations on YouTube. We're going to talk about what is wrong with the internet. I don't know if you have noticed, but if you go searching for information now this is I remember 10 years ago, if I was doing some research, I could look up, say, how to get a compost pile hot or something like that, and you would find pretty decent information. You would often find things from universities, you would find some useful blogs, etc. But bit by bit, the blogs that used to exist and the sites that used to be good sources of information seem to be nothing but garbage. There's just nothing there. No, there should be sound. I can see sound here. So go ahead and turn your sound up. There should be audio. So, one of the problems that seems to have happened is everything has gotten focused towards advertising, Amazon associates, affiliate programs, and all that sort of thing. So you go to a site and it'll be like, hi, this is a gardening site. I love gardening. I've been gardening since I was 20 years old when I discovered how much I love gardening. My name is Emily and this is my blog. But then you go to every post on the blog and it is written horribly, and it'll be like, today we are going to talk about best vacuum cleaners for your garden. Right? And you're like, what is this? I want information on composting. How to make compost pile. How to make compost pile hot. Are you difficult with compost? Right? And it gets weird, but now it's starting to look like it's written better because it's written by AI, so it's grammatically not quite so third world as it used to be. But a lot of the information is repetitive and often downright wrong. Do you remember when you used to look up a recipe and you would find a recipe? There you go. Here, Atlanta Gardener, here we go. Or like those recipes that tell a life story before actually having the recipe. I remember the first time I tried blackened liver. I thought, this has to be an experience. And I walked in with my friend so-and-so, who at that time was going through a divorce, and we went into this little hole-in-the-wall place in New Orleans. And I remember New Orleans back then, it was like such and such and such and such, and I was right next to such and such, and I was wearing a polka-dotted dress, and it's like, come on! I don't even care about the liver anymore. I didn't care to begin with. But everything is busted, which brings us to my son, Perry, who is a purveyor and a philosopher when it comes to meme-worthy and conspiratorial elements.
Not too much. Don't get me canceled.
No, we're definitely not going to get canceled.
No. But anyway, dead internet theory is the idea that almost everybody that you're interacting with on the internet isn't real. There are thousands and thousands of chat bots all connecting with each other and posting things at each other on different social media platforms such as Twitter and Reddit, YouTube comments, everywhere. And it's looking more and more like it was originally formulated in the early 2000s, but more and more it's starting to look like it's a reality instead of just, oh, haha, that would be so funny if everybody on these message boards was
fake, right?
Oh, hey. Here. And, like, if you go into, right, gotta get some incidental music right there. But if you go into the comment sections on Twitter, for example, I follow this account called, like, Dead Internet in Action or something. And it's all of these people interacting with each other and tagging each other, and none of these accounts are real. And their profile pictures are AI generated, and everything that they're posting is AI generated. And yeah, that's basically
it's dead. It's all
dead.
dead.
It's all dead. There's nothing there.
So one of the things I was realizing when the AI it just really hit full force about a year ago. Everything was AI, right? If AI is scraping the internet to find information, and the internet is already full of bad information, and then the AI writes an article with that bad information. Like, for example, yams and sweet potatoes. True yams are Dioscorea species. They are closely related to sweet potatoes. No, they're not. Now, I saw that piece of information on a well-known website. Oh, that sweet potatoes and yams are both in the same, they're closely related. Well, they're not. One of them is a monocot, one of them is a dicot. I mean, this is basic botany. They're not closely related. True yams and sweet potatoes they're far away as a palm tree is from a radish. They're not that close. They have similar morphology, but they're not that close. They could be used similarly, yes, but they're not that close. They're not that close botanically speaking. So if that information is scraped by an AI, and then an AI writes a story about yams and sweet potatoes, which I took ChatGPT and I said, can you write me an essay sharing the difference between sweet potatoes and yams? It didn't do a particularly good job. It had multiple errors in it. And if people are using this information, they're going to get misled. But not only that, if the internet is being filled full of AI-generated information that's actually giving you false information on these things, then the AI is now scraping from AI, which is scraping from AI,
Right.
and then it's turtles all the way down.
Right, like there's no human behind this content after a certain point. After a certain point, it's going to scrape from other AI websites, and we've actually seen that with image generation. There's this pretty entertaining trend I saw, where there was this AI account. This guy made a video on it that was just posting pictures of Jesus, like made out of sand in sandcastles, and it's like small little children make this incredible like
Big,
Christ
big,
of the
beautiful.
deep, right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and but the thing is that the farther and farther down the images get, the AI is actually taking prompts from
the
itself. Yeah, so there was one. It was like Jesus made out of lobsters on a surfboard at the beach. It's like, how no human wrote Jesus made out of no. It's and there's all these old folks who think it's a real picture, and they're like so stunning, so beautiful.
It's amazing that, like, I thought
amazing.
about eating lobsters, but using them to represent our Lord is it's totally different. Jordan Peterson would appreciate that.
Right, yeah, Jordan Peterson would be all over that, but it's...
I can't believe all those lobsters that were used to transcend.
I just saw something on the internet the other day, and it was just so powerful. Yeah.
Go to Albania.
Go to Albania. I was in Albania. Yeah.
So you've got bad information feeding bad information, and we know, for example, there was the big push towards everybody. You know what? You can put an entire library. You can put 10,000 books on your Kindle. And I remember, some years ago, somebody saying, "I'm getting rid of all of my paperback books. I'm getting everything on ebook. I'm just my Kindle is my library. This is the Library of Alexandria right here." I was like, yeah. But Bezos or some of his minions can burn that library down quite quickly.
Well, without you even knowing it, because they've published changes to books and just slowly injected them into your Kindle library, and you never even need to know. You get updates.
You don't know that the book has changed.
Once an AI gets access to the contents of your Kindle, you could get fake information inside some of the oldest, most revered books. Just edited in real time.
Yeah. And so there's a serious problem that's going on here, and I highly recommend that you get physical books. Get physical, good copies of books, even if you can get leather-bound, good quality hardcovers, etc. Because the digital information is destroyable, and it is it seems to be in a spiral. Another thing that's come up a lot lately, and I wish I had some examples of them to show you, but something that's come up a lot lately are the videos on plant propagation. They mostly seem to be coming from India, maybe further into Asia, elsewhere too. But it's videos on plant propagation, and people must send me one of these every couple of weeks or so. Did you know you could do this? And it would be something like sticking a carrot inside of a banana and then planting the banana in a pot. And it's all shot really, really well. And then it's And then you see later that the banana tree is growing, but it's got carrots hanging on it, and it looks real. And then later it's like they dig this banana up and they're pulling carrots off of the roots and they're harvesting bananas off of the side, and this is fake. I've seen videos where it's like, this is how we grew sweet potatoes up a trellis, and it'll be at 5 days it looks like this. And you're like, that looks like it was a little fast for 5 days, but it'll be at 20 days it looks like this. It's like, no, there is no way that it grew that high up the trellis in 20 days. Plants don't grow that fast. But they're giving you fake timelines and fake propagation and fake gardening, and that's just in gardening. There's all kinds of other information out there that's screwed up, but gardening is really the only thing I know all that much about. So when I look at it and I go, no, you can't do that. You'll see them planting a seed inside of something and then burying that thing, and it's like, did you know that you could grow a walnut out of a potato? You know, it's like, okay, just stop doing that sort of thing. But they'll get millions of views because if somebody doesn't know about it, it looks amazing. It's this amazing trick. And it's like the fads that used to come and go. I don't know if any of you guys have read The Madness of Crowds, A History of Popular Delusions. Who wrote that? I'm going to throw it on you.
Guy.
A History of Popular Delusions. Both Perry and I have read it. It's very Jamie, look that up for us.
Jamie, pull that up. Who was that guy?
Who was that guy? I can't remember what his name is. I feel like it starts with an M. But anyhow, History of Popular Delusions, Madness of Crowds. He talks about these different fads that take over at different periods of time. He talks in particular about the tulip bulb craze,
Tulipomania,
South Sea investment bubble, a lot of different bizarre things that happened.
Talked about the Black Death too,
and the knocking off of hats, and like weird how slang terms come in. And these things seem to sort of sweep through crowds quickly and just become part of the zeitgeist. However, it gets greatly exacerbated in the internet age when you can have a huge wave of something come through for a very short period of time. Like Con las Terroristas. There was that song a few years ago, and everybody did the little Harlem...
The Harlem Shake.
They did the little Harlem Shake, and there's all these weird Harlem Shake videos that come out for a really quick period, and then it's like, nobody's doing that anymore.
It's gone.
It's gone. It's gone. Or the Ice Bucket Challenge, right? Everybody does the Ice Bucket Challenge. People are breaking their necks, dropping 5-gallon buckets from 2 stories. You know, if you do anything weird, just say it's for some disease that is really sad, and then you can do it. But we're getting like this faster and faster, more and more broken information stream going on, and the amount of sheer garbage that is out there is stunning. And I there's multiple trends going on here. We've got the AI trend, which came in on top, but there was also the clickbait trend. The trend of clickbait, because if you don't get views from the algorithm right away, your video does not get promoted. There's a certain amount of time you've got for it to boost. So if you do something like, you won't believe what this did to my mother, you know, people are like, oh, what did it do to his mother, you know? And then it's like a video about asparagus or something, and she got a rash, you know? It's like, okay, but you watched it, and because you watched it, the little robots watched you and said, this is what people want. Let's make more. Let's make lots more. And so if you wrote it, you know, sometimes asparagus gives you a rash, if that was the title of the video, nobody would watch it. Or hardly anybody would watch it, except people that were interested in rashes. And those people are not really the people that are going to spend money on your Amazon Associates account, unless you're selling like itch cream or something.
So yeah, you gotta post, you know, don't plant asparagus at 3 a.m. challenge. Warning, gone wrong. The police came to our house. And, you know, and, like, have a picture of, like, a screaming old lady and, like, cop lights. And, you know what? Like, they are not... And, you know, YouTube removing the dislike button actually had a lot to do with this. Because now you
We need the dislike button.
We need the dislike
button. Bring the dislike button back. I want to dislike everything.
But yeah, because you can tell immediately this video is going to waste my time because there's no actual
That's right.
Police pulling over and speeding asparagus at 3 a.m. But it's useless because you could claim anything and there's no repercussions for it anymore, and people will just click on it because they're like, "What the heck happened?
What the heck happened?"
Right.
Yeah, and so the smarter set seems to have taken the clickbait thing. You have to leave a question in their mind to look it up, but you back it up with something. It's like the best rhetoric is backed with dialectic. It has to be dialectically true in order for it to be rhetorically effective. So, if you have a little bit of truth in it, so if you actually did, see an asparagus getting pulled over at 3 a.m. in the video at some point, you might suffer through looking at the guy's baseball card collection and then his trip to the coffee shop to meet that weird girl that was his friend who is doing watercolors there or something.
Because
and
it was all worth it. There's a payoff.
You're like, oh, there's the asparagus crashes through the cafe.
Oh yeah.
And hopefully ruins all her watercolors. then you got something. But it's so much garbage. And a lot of it is we've got to get this content out because there's a lot of content that is also coming out at the same time. And now people have discovered, well, I can just AI generate content. I can do documentaries. You can watch the documentary channel and everybody has the same voice. And they'll read, there was a ship that was very, very large. It was one of the largest ships and it was very nice inside. That ship was called the Titanic. And it's, it's okay, that's great. It's basically skimming Wikipedia and making a video and trying to get enough things on there. You won't believe what happened to this big ship.
They did what?
They did what to this big ship?
The soy jacks pointing. Yeah.
Who would have thought an iceberg would do this? Iceberg ruined my vacation.
Don't follow icebergs at 3 a.m. challenge. Gone wrong. Titanic edition.
What Leonardo DiCaprio didn't tell you about icebergs.
Right in the middle of painting The Last Supper, Leonardo DiCaprio steered the Titanic into... Yeah, but... it was in the movie, I think.
It was, yeah.
But we've actually got two waves of this. So we've got the pre-made content that is read by AI.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's things like an AI will read an entire Reddit thread and then post it as an hour-long video that's just slop for people to listen to while they do their homework or whatever, horrifying Reddit stories or whatever, And then we have things that are real, but their scripts are written by AI.
Yeah.
So sometimes people will they'll actually record things in live action using an AI script, and you can tell it's AI, but it doesn't look like it's AI.
And this kind of comes back around to Amazon as well. I saw, and I have to confirm this, but it said something along on Kindle Direct Publishing. Authors are no longer allowed to publish more than 2 books a day. A day. How are authors writing 2 books a day? I mean, I could understand. Okay, you've got your backlog. The 17 books that you've written, and you finally, you want to get them all published, and maybe you had somebody line all those books up for you and get them into EPUB format, and you're going to go upload them. But 2 books a day? How many of the books now are being written by AI really rapidly? NaNoWriMo, the National Novel Writing Month, which kind of turned into a national novel writing website and a club where a bunch of people try to write an entire novel over the course of November, the National Novel Writing Month, November. And it was a really fun challenge. But they couldn't agree whether or not AI was not allowed in it. Whether AI is allowed in it or not. And people were saying it's not fair. And they're like, well, however you want to be creative. It's like, yeah, but I could write 50,000 words by not writing 50,000 words. I can tell my ones and zeros digital slave to write that book for me and then be like, hey, look, I did my first novel. No, I'm done. I'm going back to bed. So it's garbage, right? And I mean, they promised us this future this beautiful future where all the artists and the musicians would have time to write poetry and make beautiful works of art, and just go and do whatever they want. This beautiful Star Trek future. And we wouldn't have to do any physical, manual, terrible that labor anymore. We could just rejoice in our beautiful human creativity and live as demigods in some sort of future Olympus. But what we got first, they replaced the artists, and they replaced the writers with AI. Like just over the last year or two, try to get a job as an illustrator, try to get a job as a copywriter. I know somebody, and successful businessman. And he told me, he says, you know what? I had AI write all of my website. I fired my writers. And he says, and all I do is tweak it appropriately and make it fit. And why would I hire somebody to spend hours and weeks to do it when I could do it myself and just have an AI write it? I tell it what I want and it just writes it, and then I just tweak it. Like, I don't know. Why would you? If you could get AI to tile your house, why would you hire a guy that had trained to do it, you know?
Yeah.
Creative people are in trouble.
We're approaching the singularity where, you know, pretty soon, hopefully not, but pretty soon there's a possibility that nothing is admissible in court. And nothing
That's a good point.
Yeah, because
that's a very good point.
You can fake videos of anybody doing anything.
I never did that. That's AI.
Right, exactly. You know, and if you actually did it, you can claim as AI and have like an AI specialist or somebody take a look at it and say, yeah, that's a, you know, and there goes everything.
Everything's broken.
The justice system.
Everything's broken because you don't have admissible digital evidence anymore. This is an interesting thing too. Herrick Kimball, who runs the Planet Whizbang site, he invented the Planet Whizbang wheel hoe. He created the Whizbang chicken plucker. That's what he was famous for. He created an affordable chicken plucker that you could buy his plans, and you could make a really good chicken plucker. He's a backyard inventor guy. He's probably in his 60s now. Friend of mine, we've written back and forth some. I really enjoyed his work, and we just got in touch with him, and we've written back and forth for some years now. He went on to Facebook one day, and he found a video of himself selling a comfrey salve for sore joints. And it was him sitting in front of a patch of comfrey with his voice pitching this comfrey salve. Well, he never did that. I found that there's a lot of different medications and things that can be a problem for people with negative side effects, etc. But an herbal remedy that we have used for years that everybody swears by is this comfrey salve. And you can click and see what we do and whatever. It was a full ad done with AI with his voice and his likeness, and it was not him. And so how long is it until my videos don't, you might as well just get another video. I actually is it me? Is it even me on right now?
Trippy.
You're never too old for a pony ride.
But
okay, that's authentic right there. It's copyrighted.
How long is it until we get a new Led Zeppelin album, or a new Doors album, or all these people who are dead, but the companies own the rights to their voices?
Yeah, just roll with it.
Roll. How long until we get
just give us one right now?
Right, exactly.
Just go. The Doors. The Internet's Dead. Their song.
The Internet has died like ghost Indians on the highway. That sounds more like Johnny Cash.
It does sound like ghost Indians on a highway, a dead internet, Al Gore wept.
Algorithms shriek.
Algorithms.
Algorithms scream with far off laughter of the bits inside of.
The internet is dead. Or at least it is dying.
Yep.
It's over. And it's getting weirder and weirder. There was another one that was interesting to me. About a month ago, I got an email from some company that develops AI models. And they offered to pay me to use my content to train AI. They said they could give me, I don't know, it was like $1,000 or something the first month, and perhaps as much as 30 something thousand over the next year or so to train AI off of my videos. So, do you really want to train your replacement? I don't. And I don't like all this stuff at all, if you couldn't tell already. I don't like fake. I don't like bearing false witness. And I don't want to see humans replaced. And I don't want to see them replaced with garbage in particular, because, I mean, honestly, if you read any literature from 100 years ago, even the pulp novels are way better content with a higher level of education required to understand and to read them than what you're getting now. And it's just getting worse and worse and worse. If you can just cheat your way through school with Chat GPT, etc., you're not learning anything. I mean, a college degree is becoming more and more worthless every year because they don't function. The colleges don't function to their purpose anymore. But beyond that, if you externally do something rather than using your mind, I mean, first of all, you use a calculator, right? Old tech, man, if you use a calculator, you don't learn math properly. But there's a point where, okay, you know the math properly, I'm going to use a calculator because it's faster and it's more convenient. But if you only know how to use a calculator, you're kind of in trouble. You can't do figures in your head at all, right? You don't know how to just write it out and do it. You have to punch it into something. But it's gotten way worse when you have a phone that reminds you of everything, distracts you with everything, etc. So more of it is outside of your own head. I told a friend of mine, I said, listen, if you just turn your smartphone off for a period of time, a couple of weeks, and you start reading Victorian era literature. I said, at first it seems dense. It feels like it's slow to get into. You feel like the language is archaic and it's dusty. I said, but as you start to pull through and you get inside of it, I said, then your mind starts to expand. You start to feel it. You start to realize where it is, and the pace of your thinking starts to adjust. There's the quick thinking, the quick decision making that we do, just snap, 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 snap. But then there's the part of the brain we don't want to use where it's like, oh, I got to figure this thing out. That hurts. We don't want to do that figuring out part. We just want a quick answer. And so in not doing that hard work, we're not flexing our mental muscles, and the dead internet is not helping any of that. It's all busted, you know, and so the speed of information has greatly increased, but it's also gotten garbagey. Another one. Napster. Okay, so we had a record. If you played a record, you had a wonderful analog representation of a recording. There's nothing like a record on a good stereo unit with a good needle. It sounds incredible and amazing. Napster comes along. We've got MP3s. We've got MP3s at like 96 megabits per second. MP3s at 128, MP3s that are a little better at 192, right? And you download them. Now you can listen to all the music you listened to when you were a kid, but it sounds like garbage. It sounds like it's inside of tin cans, because there's a loss that's going on. Ones and zeros have been dropped out of it in order to make a compressed file that's easily transferable. And it doesn't sound as good as it did on a record. And sometimes it was taken from a record, and an old record, so it had all the pops and clicks in it. But the pops and clicks were also inside of a 128 kilobytes per second, and you could hear the compression. You could hear that compression. And so there's way more information. It's available at a tip of your finger. It's very easy to get, but it's garbage.
It's lower quality.
It's lower quality.
They recently reissued the first Queen album and put AI enhanced on. They took the master tapes and they AI enhanced his vocals and put auto-tune on them.
No way.
This is the definitive version of the album, and it's not. It sounds weird. It sounds metallic. And the mix is all weird. You can tell the AI is in there, but they're selling it as a record.
As a record.
They're selling it as a record. They're selling it as a CD.
It's an imitation.
It is.
It's rather like the internet you have now is rather like the appliances you have now compared to the appliances you used to have. I remember my grandmother had a washing machine and a stove, both of them dated from sometime in the 1960s or maybe early 70s. They lasted for decades. And now you get one that's got all kinds of bells and dings and, little faceplate and all that kind of stuff. But it's actually not made as well, and it's probably not made in the United States. So you basically have something that's much fancier and looks way slicker, but that old avocado painted washing machine just ran forever and ever and ever. Now, if you could use some of the modern conveniences, but you still had the build quality, that would be great. But everything is cheap and really flashy. It's like instead of having a couple of nice little diamonds set in a little ring, you've got a huge gaudy ring just covered with plastic bits and LED light ups. It doesn't have value, but it looks really, really fancy. That's what we got. It's
There's
garbage.
more stuff. Isn't it better, guys?
More stuff.
There's more content. There's more slop. Doesn't that make you so much happier because there's more to consume? But you know what? If everything is mediocre, it doesn't matter. We all wanted more Star Wars movies. But what we got was slop, and they're like, "Isn't it great?
Look at all they could do digitally. It's so fantastic. It looks so great."
But if there's nothing behind it, if there's no soul to it, it's useless.
How could Princess Amidala be royalty, but she's elected?
No, okay. Well, I think George Lucas doesn't understand politics.
I feel like
No, actually,
like
Phantom Menace was brilliant. You just don't understand it.
yeah, it's right. It's the ring cycle. It's based on the ring cycle. Yeah.
So it's
genius. It's genius, but you just
No, the thing is that Jar Jar was going to be the Dark Lord at the end, but people didn't like the character so much that George Lucas changed his vision. If Jar Jar had turned out to be the big evil guy, I don't think anybody would.
Oh, it would have been fantastic.
Yeah, because
it turned out great. I have the high ground.
Misa has a high ground, Massa. You jump up and Jar Jar cuts your legs and arms off.
I just no. It's perfect.
It's terrible.
Yeah, it's everything's broken. Everything's broken. So yeah, I don't know where we're gonna be in 3, 4, 5 years, but I highly recommend getting a library of real books
and records.
I guess.
Mm-hmm. Buy Dark Side of the Moon, guys.
Yeah, nobody has that one.
Nobody's.
Yeah, I listened to Dark Side of the Moon before anybody else liked it.
You know what?
I'm done with it now, but
like
back in the day, nobody knew that album at all.
That album's about to turn 100 years old now. It's crazy.
It's amazing.
Time flies. Yeah.
I remember when.
What are the people saying? I see all the.
I guess we'll check the chat. We're 40 minutes in here. Let's see what we got here.
All these haters.
Nibelungenlied. Wagner. That's right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Carl. I appreciate it. I knew somebody would get that. Yes. Hipsters are all about CDs and vinyl now. Yep.
It's true.
But nothing sounded like a cassette tape in an Oldsmobile.
No, but that's the Oldsmobile more than the
cassette.
tape,
Yeah. I love it when you listen. People
go over a
bar and give some peace of because you would get all garbled in there because your little sister would pull it out and then crinkle it and you'd have to roll it back in.
Yeah. That's Boston.
That's Boston.
It's still not as bad as CDs skipping. You scratch a new metal CD and it's got like 50% more vinyl rips in it.
Yeah. You scratch new metal and it sounds better. It's just content. You should be content with more content.
Right, exactly.
The Sean says the Emperor's New Appliances. Nice to see you, Sean.
Yeah, I don't know. I like that we can play Tetris on our vacuum cleaners now.
Sean is our consistent live stream humorist. I'm glad you're here.
I saw the little emoji by his name. Thank you for the support.
GG, double G.
That's right.
And then mio giardino rosa. Exactly why I won't give up my 25-year-old almond stove.
Just don't make them like they used to.
It's got to be Harvest Gold avocado. Yeah. Somehow Palpatine lived. Yeah, come on. AI brought him back. So.
Which one's pink? Someone said. I don't know.
Justin says Queen Amidala is royalty of a particular province of the empire, not the whole empire. Of course it's not the whole empire, but how can you be?
She represents her province, elected by the local body of elders
she personally appointed.
So it's
nepotism.
That doesn't... Okay.
Jenny, TMI. Which one's pink? Good lad, William. Carl says, I'm a good German lad. My Opa blasted Wagner all the time.
That's right.
Play the song about burying animals under trees. Oh, yeah. I remember that one. Hold on, guys. My grill needs a firmware update. Ouch! Hey, Derek, how are you?
My shower curtain has an app now.
That question the answer says, my smart vacuum thought I expired and it ordered a new owner because I didn't log on soon enough.
Come back every day for your weekly reward.
Your shower curtain won't close unless you update your subscription. Sean says, I was bringing you a gift, David, but you all weren't home, so Misa drank it. I'm sorry. I was all the way, I was an hour or more away.
Well, at least hopefully you enjoyed your drink.
Oh my goodness. Alright, yeah, let's see. That's the cherry tree.
Yeah, look up the...
See if I can find the lyrics. I hope I could still find them. What a There we go. I gotta remember the lyrics to my own songs. But...
Wow, that's so...
Try to play your A. It's close.
It's honky tonk.
I'm burying my rabbit beneath the cherry tree. One fine afternoon. Someday I know that we'll meet again on a fruit salad spoon. Laid my hamster to rest last night neath the pumpkin vine. Someday I know that we'll meet again in a Thanksgiving pie. If it dies when it's at my house, it'll end up in the soil. My trees are all fed by pets, shuffling off this mortal coil. Put my puppy beneath the garden bed one early winter morn. Someday I know that we'll meet again in a lovely row of corn. If it dies when it's at my house, it'll end up in the soul. I lost my chords.
Oh. Sorry.
My trees are all fed by pets, shuffling off this mortal coil. Laid the taxman to rest last night beneath the money tree. I know that we'll never meet again, 'cause he won't be be in heaven with me. If it dies when it's at my house, it'll end up in the soil. My trees are all fed by pets, shuffling off this mortal coil. Oh, separate solo. Beneath the cherry tree one fine afternoon. Someday I know that we'll meet again on a fruit salad spoon.
I'm not crying, you're crying. I know. Every time I hear that song.
Every time I see the I just saw a 6-finger strumming. He's a bot.
Yeah, actually, so actually I have this hooked up to an app that can tell kind of what I intend to play. I'm not actually playing this, it's just in your computer. Yeah, so.
Whoa.
So, as a lifelong guitar guy, I'm glad some kids are still learning to play real instruments in real life. It's fake, dude. Don't believe anything you see on the internet. I don't actually know how to play this.
Now, Jenny, the only thing I ever did, I was pretty boring. Like I was given cigars by friends. My cousin gave me a cigar when I was 16. So I smoked cigars. I never smoked any of the intoxicating stuff. Extremely boring.
Didn't you?
I like to make a martini occasionally.
Didn't you synchronize Led Zeppelin 2 to The Little Mermaid?
Yes, we did. We did do that. Yeah. I do remember. You take the Wizard of Oz, and you started at the third roar of the lion. That's at the third roar of the MGM lion. You hit play on the dark side of the moon, and it kind of lines up.
That's crazy, dude.
And so I remember doing that, but then I thought, this works so interestingly well. What if I lined up Led Zeppelin 2 to The Little Mermaid? So I put on Disney's The Little Mermaid and Led Zeppelin 2. It gave it some weird undertones, I'll say that.
Didn't it already have weird undertones?
It had weird undertones, but it got weirder. There was when he's singing, "Babe, I'm gonna leave you," she's like running away from her dad.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
they
so
were
it was,
genius when
it
they
was
wrote
like
Led
I don't know
Zeppelin
how
2.
they did that, but
They probably wrote Led Zeppelin 2 around The Little Mermaid.
yeah, that's right. That was Christopher Guest with 6 fingers, Carl. Yeah, I bet growing up in Seattle in the 90s was not boring.
Oh man.
Oh, that was the greatest days of Seattle.
Breeze there.
Hand down.
Even flow. Yeah.
Again, your word.
Oh, he don't know. Yeah. Pearl Jam.
Yep.
The greatest band of all time.
So, that's it. The internet's dead.
The internet, we killed it, guys.
You and I, we killed it.
We killed the internet right there.
We invented the internet, and then we killed it.
It's very Nietzsche-esque.
Like Nietzsche-esque.
Yeah.
Of course, the internet was always evil. It was an
just
evil.
Fun at one point.
It was like Kronos.
Yeah, right.
We had to murder it. But maybe something will arise from the ocean in its stead.
But you know what? It makes me think, like all these stories about AIs going rogue and things. I don't think that
They'll be so dumb by the
they'll
time
be
they
so
go rogue.
dumb. It's like, open the door, Hal. Playing The Doors from Apple Music. Like, open the door, Hal. Riders on the storm.
Stop it.
And like Skynet.
Oh my goodness.
Skynet isn't gonna be able to think. all they're going to be doing is going to be building statues of Jesus out of different
like,
objects.
The internet will be like, you asked, what is a woman? That's an interesting question with many different answers. I don't even know. Nobody even knows.
Welcome to Costco. I love you.
Internet reverts to dial-up everywhere. Rayaboth Farm says, personally, I always liked the Zeppelin 1 better.
Physical graffiti is where it's at.
Yeah.
Don't listen to Led Zeppelin, they're evil. But Physical Graffiti is a good album.
Jenny, you're a prophet. Fresh air and sunshine.
Your Pearl Jam impression needs work. Ban that. Can you ban that guy, actually?
Yeah. Sorry, B. Hendrix, you're gone. No, I'm just kidding. I know who you are.
I don't know.
Listen, that was a dead-on Pearl Jam impression.
It sounded just like Eddie Vedder.
It sounded just like Eddie Vedder done by AI.
With a cold. At the dentist.
People start getting those CDs for internet in the mailbox again. Welcome to AOL.
You know, I tried to download more RAM the other day.
Oh, yeah, we heard about the Birds Aren't Real one. That's a psyop, man. That's a psyop.
That's yeah. Why do they land on telephone wires? Obviously, they want to recharge. Yeah.
Turn off the news and plant a garden. That's the one thing that Voltaire got right. Tend your own garden. With a pigeon saluting Putin as proof.
Yeah, man.
If you have a garden and a library, you have everything you need. Birds are real. Finland is not.
Finland isn't. I'm not.
I met a girl that claimed she was from Australia.
That's not real.
And we were like, no, you aren't.
No, you're not.
You're not. That's not real.
As a Pearl Jam impressionist myself.
As something of a Pearl Jam impressionist myself.
No, I've been in the business for about 40
it.
years impersonating Eddie Vedder.
I can do better. And I made some cheddar. Well.
All right.
Gulf of America. Gulf of America.
Trump
is going to change the Gulf of Mexico to
well,
Gulf
you know,
of America.
it should have been ours. It should have been ours, you know.
Oh, I don't know about this timeline. Everything is broken. It's all so weird, guys.
It's all so dumb.
I at the beginning of this year, I said that's it. I'm just gonna not check my phone anymore. I just turned it off and put it in the other room. I'm like, every day or two, I'll turn it on for a minute and see if there was anybody important that texted or whatever, and then turn it off again. And you know what I'm reading? I'm reading Flannery O'Connor. I'm reading the complete short stories of Flannery O'Connor
to lighten up, Dad.
Cheer myself up. You can't say your favorite song is Kashmir. You can't. You just can't say that because that's the single most popular song on there. You've got to say something else. It's got to be the one with the vacuum cleaners or something.
My favorite song is that one.
My favorite song.
That one that was only in like one issue of the album, and then they took it off.
Right.
Back in the 70s.
It's got to be a song that nobody's ever heard of.
My favorite.
Oh, it's that one.
My favorite Led Zeppelin album is Coda.
Oh yeah, Coda.
My favorite Pink Floyd album is Ummagumma.
Yes. A collection of small furry animals.
All I'm saying is
who vets the vetterers? Qui quotidian ipsos vetterus. Yes, Carl.
Oh,
why do we have the most intelligent commenters here? They can't all be bots.
Yeah, someone just
you guys
said
have
they're
proven
from Finland, so that's a bot, I think. Gypsy.
What?
B.
Gypsy? Yeah, that's a bot. Yep. Sound check removed before republication.
My absolute most favorite Zepp song is When the Levee Breaks. No, you can't say that. I mean, it's a good song. It's one of their best songs, but I think probably their best song is Bring It On Home. But before the breakdown, when he just sings, because that's just pure, it's just real, guys.
I remember reading Robert Plant saying something about how his lyrics just got more and more beautiful, and bind them all together in a book like poems. And I'm like, this guy.
Like calligraphy, big leg woman.
I mean,
got no
how
soul.
it's like it's just pages of grunts.
Oh, mama! Yeah, wow, so
No.
beautiful, illuminated manuscript with like big leg woman ain't got no soul. You know. On the
I sing even flow when watering the garden.
Yeah.
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 I sing the Beatles' Rain in reverse.
Walls dead. The Zeppelin was definitely best covered by Dread Zeppelin. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys listened to Dub Side of the Moon?
You thought the album couldn't
easy-
have any more drug connotations.
if you want it to be just explicit and not lying about the drug connotations, Dub Side of the Moon by Easy Star All Stars. It's a complete remix recreation of Dark Side of the Moon. It's hilarious.
Dub reggae.
It's hilarious. Like, put it on a car trip and Rachel's just like, yeah. Have you ever listened to The Soft Parade by The Doors? Nobody listens to that album. No, I listened to The Soft Bulletin by The Flaming Lips. I mean, it's a little better. Goth Brooks. No, I have not heard Goth Brooks. It's... Oh, that's hilarious.
I can imagine. I'm gonna check that out.
There you go. Several species of small furry animals gathered together in a cave and grooving with a pick growing a food forest.
Oh.
Yeah, Jenny, you'll appreciate it. I know you will.
You'll love it.
You'll love it. You'll love it. It'll remind you. It'll remind you of Seattle.
In the 90s.
Beautiful days in Seattle. Beautiful city.
You know what they did to that city?
Terrible what they did to that city. Just a big needle in the middle of the city now. It's terrible. Like San Francisco, needles everywhere. And Drew says, like, someone out in the garden is going to take the time to text it to ChatGPT how to plant a tree or tomatoes.
How to
ChatGPT, tell me how to garden.
You know, it'll actually talk to you now. So, like, you can use it like Siri. You can just talk at it, and then it'll talk back. You know, so...
That's good. I found Siri to be very unhelpful.
Yeah. Yeah, Siri's very unhelpful.
Incredibly unhelpful.
So is Alexa, and she spies on you too. I mean, they all...
They all do. We don't do those things in our house. No. No Ring cameras, any of that, no. Nope. We'll bring it back. It'll be tremendous. Well, guys, we don't have any more dead internet. That was just something we really, we've been talking about quite a bit. There's a lot of bits of interconnecting pieces about how everything's broken, and I think the takeaway is go read your Bibles and get a real library. Siri, how do I work a shovel? Make a small AI garden for the AI to take care of. That's not a bad idea. Well, the internet is broken. Like my last relationship.
Oh, yeah.
And now I'm all but over. Everything with a silicone chip. Oh, baby, baby. These ones and zeros done been getting me down.
Oh,
I'm feeling in just a few years. No internet's gonna be around. I got those corrupted information. Corrupted information blues.
whoa.
If I have to read one more ChatGPT article on composting, I'm gonna want to go back to getting paper copies of the news. I don't like no TikToks. I don't like Instagram too. I guess I have to stick around here because I make a few bucks on YouTube. But I don't like no Reddit. Everything is done broke. 4chan used to be funny, but now it's just a shallow joke. I can't stand Facebook. They want to take away my whole life. I don't want to go on no dating site. I don't need no Filipino wife. Oh, baby, I want no internet blues. Those broken internet blues. I can't say nothing. I got them internet blues. Make some dial-up sounds.
Oh no, we got the cops in here.
You guys have a wonderful evening. We're going to try to do some more live streams and keep it interesting when we're not gardening because it's that time of year. So I have content. It's fine, officer. Don't worry. We're sure you have anything. Great content. You're sure you have great content, the best content. We back the blue all the way. So have a great evening. Go get some books. Some real books. Go on eBay right now and go buy something. Franklin Classics, Easton Press. Go get some real stuff. Have a great night.